Hello, and I just want to twirl this around. This has to be in an art gallery in the center. It has a centerfold. It was welded by and just twirl it. Oh, it fell down. Oh, just let's do slowly. And I thought artistic energy, Miss Munro, the Nobel laureate of Canada, and she's deceased. She's passed away recently, and um, this is a painting of mine, which shows all the gods of intellect and uh, health, and uh, you can see war and darkness, and for this morning, because I'm an engineer. See, this is the temple of Apollo and the nine muses, and this is all internet help I got, and I made this as a laurel, and I thought and made some, and this is artistic energy, flowers all around, pretty flowers, all Monet's colors and other colors, and this is Mount Olympus in Greece. So this for this morning, for this particular reading, this can be on, and this can be the background, sort of. And I would like to say that my first script, which is on my LinkedIn webpage, has been cinematized. It is a CBC production funded by the Canada Council for the Arts, and I had to again work hard because I'm an engineer and I have some newspaper essays and internet work, but in creative writing, I have only an Indian resume, East Indian resume. So it was very hard, and I was not actually consulted, but my screenplay was taken from the internet, and I gave quite a bit of input for the story. This is a white family. I mean, it's a bit fitting that Alice Munro's story has been done by a white family, although you mustn't have borders and cut off points at this time of existence on this planet Earth, but in a way, it's fitting. That's all I thought. So, to those of you who may or may not have had aspirations in Alice Munro's direction to make movies and that sort of thing. And she's a misunderstood genius, I wanted to say, because she was very feminist. And as I learned from her Nobel laureate, Nobel Prize winning interview after winning the Nobel Prize in Amsterdam, she actually did not have a complete degree in literature. But look how well she did. So there's hope for me. But I have engineering degrees, and doing so very well in literature would go against my own philosophy in life. But some rewards would be nice. And so she but she taught creative writing in the university because she had so many books, and she was married. She had children, two daughters. Sent them lunch every day, every afternoon, gave them breakfast, and got down to her writing. So, in a way, you would think that she has brought in a culture of feminist culture where divorcees, women getting divorced is encouraged. But so that's why I'm saying she's a misunderstood genius. But she herself was an example, set an example to society. All right, going on. My script for Alice Munro's How I Met My Husband by Gayatri B. Sitaram, 2, script 2. Edie was a 15-year-old girl who worked for the Peebles family. She looked after the Peebles' small son, Joey. Joey was an imaginative child who liked real life to picture cinema. For instance, the plane that gave a sightseeing trip of the outskirts of Toronto, far out into the corn fields and wheat fields and rice paddies and tall barns with colorful barn doors, went flying over the treetops and making its mechanical landing, reminded Joey of crash landing, as in, coming back to real life for you readers, as in the movie Airplane. Edie loved the summer, as Joey did. She took care of all the kitchen work. The kitchen was all white, like Dr. Peebles's wet coat, for that was where it had all begun. He had come to her parents' farm and helped the Jersey cow have her baby. The calf that their Jersey cow nuzzled and fed some of its milk to. Yeah. The lights in the kitchen made it bright and fun to work in. The were away for the day. Edie had everything ready for supper. Mrs. Peebles was a good cook, and she liked to get everything right. Edie decided to look around Mrs. Peebles's room. The closet smelled of faint perfume that reminded her of hyacinths growing in the garden. She thought that hyacinths have a way of getting around you. The closet was full of dresses. Edie felt like she was in Wonderland. She chose a satin dress, light bluish green in color, with a satin sheen. It had a fitted pointed waist and a full skirt with little sleeves. Edie did not think twice. She got out of her own things and slipped on the dress. She put on rouge and lipstick and eyebrow pencil from the drawer. She helped herself to a glass of ginger ale and added ice cubes to it. She hummed to herself her own tune. Ice cubes in my drink, fire in my soul. There is fire and ice. I look my best. Suddenly, she felt herself being observed. It was a man with a pail in his hand outside the screen door. He was pressed up against the screen door. Edie said, "You startled me." He said, I'm from the place over there. My name is Chris Waters, and I was wondering if I could use the pump outside. Edie said she would fill water from the kitchen sink in his pail. He looked like a hero out of a book. He asked her if she was the lady of the house. She looked all ready to go to a party. Edie found that funny, but it had a nice ring to it. She said she was the hired girl. Chris said she looked nice and beautiful. Edie felt he was upsetting her world, for she was only 15 years old. Nevertheless, she liked the man. He made her feel all grown up and filled his own pail with water at the pump after all. Edie changed out of Mrs. Peebles' dress back into her own things. Doctor and Mrs. Peebles came back with Joey all happy and heard Edie's little piece of excitement, the one about the male visitor. Both of them teased her, and Dr. Peebles asked her if he looked like himself, a handsome son of a gun. The rest of Alice Munro's story as a sonnet, Gayatri B. Sitaram. This is more like a blank verse, and I wanted you to watch the movie, CBC movie, all the productions that came out with my input, with my screenplays, with my videos. So I'm giving you a chance, and here is the rest of it. Edie met Chris again when he was enjoying a smoke. He said he flew the local plane up to the seventh heaven of delight and asked her to try a few puffs, for it might light up her day. Edie felt like her whole world was turning upside down. She was having her first crush, and she baked a crumb cake the next day for Chris. Chris ate the delicious cake and told her that he had to see if her lips tasted as delicious. He kissed her willing lips, and Edie felt all soft and romantic like. Edie came back feeling all grown up and in love. Chris's girlfriend Alice spoke to her sharply and said that is how girls get a bun in the oven. Edie found out the next day that both Chris and Alice had left town. Edie got his address and wrote to him daily, but was met with disappointment and the seasons changed. And so did she. One fine afternoon, the mailman, seeing her expectant face, asked her out on a date. That was how Edie married the nicest man in this whole wide world. That was my script for Alice Munro's How I Met Your Husband. I hope you had a nice time. Thank you.